Check, check. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Tuesday night, and you know what time of TI is. It is time for Nightcap Knowledge. Tonight, we will be talking embracing cooperative economics, life beyond capitalism, a community beyond capitalism, beyond capitalism. We'll be rapping with Joshua D. Dedmond, co-executive director of the Labor Network for Sustainability. So get ready for a great show. Tune in, tap in. Make sure you share this with somebody that needs something on their head before they go to bed. I know I need something on my head before I go to bed. I'm just being nasty right now. It's all good. It's all good. We can be a little nasty on Nightcap Knowledge. Hey man, let's get into it. Let's Nightcap Knowledge. Let's go. Hey. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. There you go. Gotta give him the air drum. What you say, Mac? What you say?
I got the Congos out.
Man, you ain't no real drummer, man. You ain't no real drummer.
I'm not, but I play one on TV.
I play one on TV. That's all right.
Hey,
you know what you got, man? Talk to me.
Hey, man, it is what it is. Everybody knows what the show is. This show is rated Black and Uncensored. Real talk, real issues, and real solutions. We're here to tell it like a TI is. Out here in these streets trying to make something happen, Captain. We got a couple things coming up, man. So we're gonna be working working in the community, still working on our programs and events, and hopefully we can reach some people, man, and help some folks, and continue to broaden our base of support. So, what about you, Chuck? What you got going? Oh, what you drinking, Chuck? Where my cup at? Get my cup.
I have one of my little tin cups that Larry gave me. I think that's a Bacardi cup, but we drinking some Uncle Nearest the whiskey.
I'm still on the bunded over here.
All right, there you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Look, it's all it's a choice thing.
I need to give me some more Uncle Nears. See, I try not to drink the last of a bottle like that until I get another bottle. So I had that Uncle Nears there probably about a year or a little bit longer. So it's time for me to get another bottle.
Yeah, I got to restock my my bar. It's
do you drink Eagle Rare?
I have not personally purchased a bottle of Eagle Rare, but I have had it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of those bottles I don't know until I get another one. Like when I
Yeah.
get the other one, then I open the one I got.
Okay. That's a good little tool, to keep your bar stock. Um,
Yeah,
Facebook user, but will you share? Who is Facebook user? Like y'all gotta go and verify yourself. I know that we're broadcasting in some groups, but we're going to drop a link um for you to visit, and that way we can see your name. Here's that link for you. We're gonna throw it up on the screen. Visit streamyard.com slash Facebook. That didn't go right. Let me do that again. Okay. Go. Visit streamyard.com slash Facebook, and we'll be able to see exactly who you are. But we appreciate, each and every one of you all for checking in on Nightcap Knowledge. My name is DJ George Chuck. That is Mr. Mac. Mac, I know you got like a lot going on right now. And as always, we've got a number of projects that we are
yeah.
developing and rolling all at the same time. So why don't you go ahead, give us the mental health minute? I'll do, the groove, what's the groove, and then we kind of do it like a little check-in before we bring our brother Joshua in, and we'll dig into this conversation. Hey Tyson.
Okay. Oh, this is Tyson.
Yeah.
Hey, so it's the topic for the Mental Health Minute Motivational Monday was confident over fears, right? And it's a very it's like have a mindset focused on confidence. I mean, sometimes we know what to do and how to do it. We have to believe in ourselves, but other people can sometimes they can't see it and they can cause you to have doubt. Then sometimes other folks can see the things in you that they are trying to motivate you to bring it out. So we got to understand that we challenge our friends to reach out to each other and to boost their confidence level. If you know that your friend is a good DJ, then you continue to reinforce that confidence of that your friend being a good DJ and support them. But also, we must, stay positive, give feedback, and help people get through their fears. Help them gain the confidence they need to do something that they have the capability of doing. Because
Yeah.
there are doubters out there. You give them different names. You can call them haters, whatever the case may be. But you got to continue to support each other and to help them have the confidence they need to move forward. So, what is the groove, Chuck?
Brother, I appreciate that. And I think we do have to reinforce and like be that battery in our friends' back sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like because self-doubt is one thing, right? Self-doubt is one thing. Uh but then if you combine self-doubt with an external form of doubt, that can compound. So definitely having to, give that vote of confidence, or like that gentle nudge for folks that might need that positive encouragement. Hey Jackson. Good night. Okay, Jackson is not going to sleep yet. So as y'all can see, my boys, they gotta stay on their routine. It's Mardi Gras, it's Fat Tuesday. So let me definitely tell you that
Yeah.
we've been in parades and balls and things like that since Friday. So we went up with our brother Cujo on Friday. Hattiesburg had the first Mardi Gras masquerade, from my understanding. We provided the photo booth services. We, assisted our brothers with whatever they needed, whether it was pouring a drink or, being a little, battery in their back when, they had set up all this equipment. You do all of this planning and things like that. Then we rode in some parades. We rode in the Gulfport parade on Saturday, Sunday, the Pass parade. And tonight we're just getting back from Pascagoula from doing a AV setup for one of the restaurants over there. So, man, it's been a roll. It's been a roll, man. I can say that there are a lot of great projects that we're developing. A lot of business deals being made. And Mac, I definitely want you to, to kind of chime in on some of the projects that we have as it relates to Mississippi Move, before we get our brother Josh in, because it all of us connected, and the way that we've always aimed to move cooperatively, and how we are positioning ourselves to continue to move the needle on doing business with each other, but then also making the business and our mission work all at the same time. So give them a little update on some of the plans that we got rolling for the rest of 2024.
Wow, wow. So jumping off, we're going to continue to um, I don't know what's the good title for this project, but I kind of like the Keep Safe project. We've ordered some of um, those detectors, natural gas, and also those carbon dioxide detectors. So we're going to
Mhm.
announce later on in the week
It's a little.
where we're going to be at, right? So we're going to announce what neighborhood we're going to start at, and like we asked folks last time, reach out to older people, senior citizens, especially those we know that lived in the target area of South Jackson,
Yeah,
and let's
yeah,
start to identify them. And we're going to have a team that's going to actually help install them. It's a quick install, right? You can use a regular screwdriver or a power screwdriver,
right.
but we don't want to leave it with our senior citizens or disabled. We want to put it up for them to
Yeah.
ensure that it's installed. And then also, if we can put together a goal is put together some type of little push card flyer, letting them know and giving them the number. Yeah, we could tell them that, hey, look, it's easy. Google it. No, let's put together a nice little flyer on what they should do. You know,
Now I'm gonna
whether
tell
they,
you what we probably want to do with that flyer.
yes, sir.
I think we should make it into a magnet. That way they can stick it on their refrigerator.
You know
What
what?
you
I
think?
think magnets will be good. I mean, and that's what we need to look at because we want to give it to them to tell them like, hey, well, these are the steps what you should do. If you
Yeah,
smell gas, if your alarm starts to go off, what steps you should take next. You know, get your things, go out the front door, know what area you're heading to, grab your phone, don't use it, don't open the garage, don't do anything to cause a spark,
right.
and give them the information and tell them what's going on. And then you can let them know, hey, I have a carbon monoxide and natural gas detector in my house. It is going off and it's located in my laundry room or located uh, in my storage room with my hot water tank, whatever the case may be. You can give
Right.
them the information and they know directly what to do, and it can help
Yeah.
save houses, help save your life. But this is something we want to start, and we're going to make sure we get it out there and let people know. And for those who want to interested, they can help us out. Um, the other big thing that we're going to be doing is continue to work around natural disaster and prep and planning. We're going to be doing that, going back to some of the communities across the state and picking back up with that and doing some work around getting action oriented and also planning and looking at proactive work. The other big thing around that is going to be the fight for freedom, the continuation of voter registration and the fight for freedom as we get ready to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Freedom Summer. And
Yeah.
we are going to do a full press to register as many people we can to vote. The 12th, which of course was the end date for to be able to vote in the primary election. So we want to make sure that we get people out to vote for the primary election and get folks re-registered, and folks register after the primary is over with. But we want to encourage people to register to vote where they live,
Right.
to help to increase the chance of you actually going to vote on election day and voting and registering where you live. Not just saying, hey, I used to live in Clarksdale. Now I live in Jackson. I went to Jackson State, but now I live in Ridgeland. So you registered at Jackson State.
Right.
And so what are your chances you leaving Ridgeland to get over there by Jackson State to vote on election day? So
Right.
register where you live. That increases your chances of being able to actually cash your ballot, and we got to do our due diligence, making sure that people do their absentee, making sure they call and check to make sure their name is on the roll. Follow up with our other elected officials and commissioners to make sure that we have enough ballots. Those are
Right.
things that we have to do as an organization and as advocates to make sure the process to cast your vote is as smooth as possible. And of course, we're going to help get folks to the polls and transport them to the polls. But everything is connected.
It's all
Elected,
connected, man. It's all cooperating.
everything has connected. Election have consequences. and leadership matters.
There you
And
go. And
so we
speaking of
see a lot of
leadership, man. Speaking of
who you see,
leadership,
who you see.
our brother is the co-executive director of the Labor Network for Sustainability. This is I know he's been working with this organization for a while, but like I know, I would say you and Josh have a similar upbringing in terms of your professional careers, being organizers, youth organizers, and being involved in church and things like that. So we want to bring our brother Joshua Dedmond to the stage.
There
Josh,
you
can you
go.
hear?
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah, I can hear. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear
Yeah,
you. Might
you were
have a
doing
little
good.
delay.
Is there
Let's see. Josh, can you hear me?
maybe a little delay? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, there's definitely a delay. All right, so do this for me. Go out and come back in. We're gonna see if we can correct that delay. All right.
All right. Like, hold on 1 second. This gonna be a doozy.
Look, Josh, man, I'm gonna tell you this, but that goes to something that you didn't talk about, Mac.
What's that?
Digital equity, man, and access,
Well, so we didn't
and
get a
it's
chance.
part. Yeah, it's part of the fight for
We
freedom.
stopped. We
Yeah,
stopped. We stopped because I was saying the connection is during that time, of course, you were fighting for freedom and fighting for your right to vote. And we're talking about elections have consequence and leadership matters. Now, our political officials, like our public service commissioner, those people stand and they are dealing with your day-to-day process because
yeah,
you're talking about gas, talking about water, you're talking about lights, but also you talk about internet and
yeah,
how
yeah.
internet now is a necessity, just like your water and gas is, and not it's not a luxury. And we know that we don't have the best internet connections in some of the areas. And one of the things we talk about why we're fighting for 5G, you got people that don't have no G. They can't do nothing in their area. And these
Right,
people need those for their monitors. It's a lot of different prime example. There are devices that cardiologists use where they can monitor your heart from your monitor at your house.
right,
So if there's some things that happen, they can check that monitor. You need internet for that process. But
right.
having that device can help prevent someone from having a cardiovascular emergency. Say
Josh,
something, Josh.
Like, yeah, I'm saying things like there may still be a delay. I don't know. But but yeah, like it could be my fault. I tend to be a luddite. Shoot, like check y'all talk about digital equity. Shoot, it's just digital ambivalence on my part. What are y'all saying? um, but no, I'm appreciative being in this moment. Like I'm about to, y'all invited me to speak, so I'm about to speak, about to tell it. So I'm gonna start with some first things first. Mac, you talked about the Eagle Rare. Here it is. Here it is. Like drink the Eagle Rare.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so so
Look at
um,
it. The
look,
it's
setup.
fun.
about to finish one
Yeah.
bottle and
Like
start another one.
like no, I'm not about to do all that. Like, listen, brother, like I got a bit more dignity and circumspect about myself. Not as young as I used to be and can't kick back. I'm also really sleepy. Um,
And
uh,
you
you know,
you got multiple kids now, so
Oh
got
yeah. Hey,
multiple
hey.
kids. Like, well,
Congratulations there, brother. Congratulations. Cheers to
thank you, cheers,
the good brother.
cheers. Mm. So, a few things to like, just be in order on my end before maybe we start this conversation. I've been in the backstage listening to each of you. I wanna start, and y'all can repeat it with me if you want to. But we're gonna start this thing off right. From the river to the sea, Palestine must be free. Um, and
from the
I'll
river
say
to
that
the sea,
again: from the river to the sea, Palestine
Palestine.
must be free.
There you go, free the
We
land.
want a a free the land, stop settler colonialism, and imperialism, and I want to raise this critically to Black folks, just by saying, well, shoot, if they did it to them by night, they're gonna come for us in the morning. And so
Thousand.
let's keep that in perspective. This is not a religious thing. This is not anything greater than genocide outright. You know how you gonna tell the people, and it's audacious because in Judeo-Christian text there's the narrative of Israel being slammed up against the sea, and then the Lord opening up the sea, the very same sea, so
Yeah.
folks could cross over. And so like how you gonna like stand on that and then slam people? You slammed them in Gaza, made them go to Rafah, and now they are in Rafah and you bombing them too. Like while under the guys while we are asleep, we are not paying attention. I just want to let you know, like, if settler colonialism wins anywhere, it'll win on our bodies. Oh, but we know that. We know that. So yeah, I just wanted to do that. Just wanted to jump out the gate on the heavy politics. Y'all know how I do. Like
Oh, oh, oh,
I am
we definitely know how you do. We know how you
gonna,
do.
yeah, gonna sock him in the
But,
mouth real quick.
but
Like,
look,
hey,
hey, if there ever was a place that you could do it, it's got to be here.
yeah, yeah, like while we drinking bourbons that question our class analysis, like me, that's fair. I do that. I'm a like I had an executive director after I moved into the nonprofit sector. I'm organizing, that drank good bourbons and just like, hey,
Mhm.
like listen, if we got to be in battle, let us drink good. While we are
You got to be in
fighting
battle.
these
Better
wretched
drink
souls
good.
across the earth. So
Yeah.
hey, hey, might as well drink well. Might as well drink well. So like, I'm happy to drink with y'all tonight. Two people that I have been drinking with since I could drink. I wanna say um, first, like we talked about, like you all's Black Mental Health Corner, and I was just listening to you all talk about being the battery in the back, or being the sounding board, being the support system for your friends, brothers, sisters, non-binary comrades, um, is something that is important, and I'm grateful, one, to just see you brothers have always been an example for me, from the earliest stages of Mississippi Move and voter registration drives. I can always count on you all, one, to do what the hell y'all say y'all gonna do, and that's amazing. And two, I mean, like y'all know, like if y'all didn't think that was gonna be the critique, it's gonna be the critique. Y'all shouldn't have invited me. Y'all did that 2 weeks ago. And I was like, I'm gonna come and talk this shit. And so, but I want to like just give y'all, like, both you, George McRae, Chuck Patterson, and MacArthur Epps. I want to give y'all as much praise as y'all deserve, um, because y'all have always put the rubber to the road. Y'all have, without question, um, dealt in the tangible. And so, like, I party and bullshit for a living, and you get caught up in a lot of the jargon and a lot of this heady ass social theory. But I am grateful to have learned examples from folks who have learned examples from our great ancestor now, Hollis Watkins Muhammad, may he rest in power and rest in freedom, who've learned from Ella Baker, and y'all have made the shit real for the people. Like, both of y'all's commitment to the people. Like, it may not, it doesn't need the jargon and all this heavy theoretical shit because it's real for folks. Like, if there's a need, y'all meet it. Y'all fill in the gap. And we need to celebrate soldiers like that, like who have always been willing to put skin in the game, to make it real to folks, make it palatable. I mean, I often find myself in struggle around like, is this real? Is this something that the people understand? And y'all make it plain. And so I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all deeply
Nah,
from like the
we
bottom of my
appreciate you
heart,
for
from my core, my
saying
soul.
Hey man, listen,
Well,
we talk about that. A lot of times we talk about the work unseen, and a lot of times our group our circle, our friends, our associates, our alumni. We work with groups. A lot of times, we work with people that you would never see anything posted or anything like that, right? And because that's the support system and that's the organizing piece we talk about. Keep it plain. One of the one of the most famous phrases that Brother Hollis always said: "Keep it plain," because all of us have a degree from Tuglu, but majority of people that we might work with don't. We're not talking
Boy, it
to each
took me a
other.
long
We're
time to
talking
get
to
it.
them.
I'm not
What you
He
joking
say?
said
about
that.
telling.
What you say?
I said it took me a
He
long
said it
time to
took him a
get it.
long time to get.
I mean, like, I
but
stopped to organize. Like, listen, like, let's be clear that
but
let's be
but Josh, the thing is, it's like I say, it's like you say, make it plain to where everybody understand what's happening, everybody know what's going on, and they don't feel intimidated, don't feel ashamed, don't feel like somebody's trying to take advantage of them. My grandmother always used to say, no matter how high a bird fly, they got to come down to get water to drink, right?
well, I mean,
You got,
speaking of my time at Tuvalu, and I went to Brown, stayed a year. The Brown Tuvalu partnership. We if we gonna unearth that, like I want to say that it is a CIA ploy to stop movement activity on the Black college campus. I mean, I got the research. Like, y'all can quote me
Oh
on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Uh,
Shout out to the man that did the research. That
like
go check
Justin Williams,
yeah.
yeah, Dre Cat from Atlanta now, had been working for Story Corps, lives now in Chicago,
Chicago. Yeah.
did excellent work to unearth that, that white paternalism, y'all know me and white folks, that white paternalism just isn't always a leg up. And we can talk as we're about to hop into cooperative economics. We can talk about our self determination and shit when it was ours and outright ours. What a
Yeah.
beautiful thing it was. It might not have been as fancy as anybody else's, but at least it was ours. And
it
so
was
that
yours.
is it's the mindset of when, we are shouting free the land by any means necessary, making space for you to determine yourself is just really important. And so, anyway, first 5 minutes at Brown, met this great professor, and he said, if this shit don't make no sense to the folks of next to Nevermind, Mississippi, where you come from, then what's the value in doing it? And
Mm.
so, and so, I mean, yeah, yeah, I'm in spaces where we're often talking about dialectical materialism, people's material realities, the concept of production and labor, and we're using like this language of expected camaraderie, but we're leaving people all at the same time. My critique of the left is it's way too heady. I mean, I'm in the left. Gonna stay. I'm so left.
You
I'm
said
left-handed, but
your critique of the left is that it's way too what?
heady, way
Heady.
way too heady. I mean, I mean, theory without action, y'all, is moot. And we got a lot of good theory. I'm down to develop an eco-socialist future,
Mm.
down to question and burn down capitalism at any rate. But
What
you can say that, but asking how is it to be done and showing the examples of when and where it's done is still a task. And so,
what Josh? Josh,
mhm.
so I know I got to slow you down, right? You've been
Yeah,
talking fast, right? So we want to
not that.
educate people on terms that we use that people know. Like when you said that
Yeah,
eco socialist future, like those things, we want to break it down to help folks understand because I also want people to know who you are and what you do, right? Like
Yeah,
introduce
yeah,
understood.
yourself,
yeah.
like
So
who
yeah,
you
let's
are and what you do and how
yeah.
the topic connects to what you're doing and make it
Yeah,
real plain.
but fair enough. Y'all want me to do the Zoom intro that we do on meetings.
No,
You
no, no,
know,
no, no. You ain't got to do the Zoom intro.
I'm Joshua D. Dedmond. He use he him pronouns. I um, am calling from Jackson, Mississippi, North Jackson to be exact. That's where it's at. I am the co-executive director for the Labor Network for Sustainability. Y'all heard Chuck say that. And I'm also the program director for Cooperation Jackson. Both
Yeah.
places I'm honored to work at, to serve. In reality, black man gotta have two jobs. I got two kids. You got
Okay.
shoot, we working brothers, so you gotta have a lot of income for every child you got to provide for, and like not out of this like system of patriarchal providing, but participating in the family unit, understanding, as Amos Wilson would say, the family being, the first of institutions by which, we impact and reflect into society, and vice versa. So, yeah. So I am, I'm that person. I've grown out of, I've grown out of the movement, and I'm grateful for, my time, um, at Tougaloo College and other places to really inundate me and consume me in the fight for freedom by
Mm-hmm.
any means. And so that has allowed me the platforms to advocate for, as I mentioned, an eco-socialist future. We can eco, being the prefix to a lot of terms: economy, ecology, ecosystem. How we fight for an ecosystem that is supportive of the planet that we live on, um, and looking at her as a living entity that has provided us life and sustenance, but also preparing us for a society of that has social parameters by which everyone meets their needs, or has their needs met, is providing the concept for an eco-socialist future. And I do that in various ways, advocating for climate change, and the disaster that is climate change due to the overproduction and mass consumption of fossil fuels that we are addicted to. Learning how to navigate that as a labor fight by
Mm-hmm.
which we make both labor and climate justice, environmental justice, resilient and relentless in understanding that people have to live on the planet by which they work. We can talk about Marx and all this heady ass shit about where people toil. I ain't trying to do no toiling. Like I started this, I party and bullshit. I really do. I could put this on on everything. It ain't so much partying, and it ain't a whole bunch of bullshit, but it's so complicated usually to explain to folks. Like, listen, we are trying to fight for our very lives, understanding that we are at disaster level carbon emissions on this planet,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that racial reconciliation is a myth and that they will kill your nigga ass still, are things worth fighting for. And I'm too old at this point to make provisions to make it sound really good. I have to make it sound like what it is. And so yeah, I got to do all that. Like this, and I also still preach. On the ministerial staff at Mount Hell Baptist Church. Big up CJ Rose. Woo woo. Uh, and
All right. Shout,
and
shout, shout out to the Alphas, brother Alphas.
oh, yeah, I guess so. And but big ups to the power of God and the ministry
Amen.
that because I'm on the left, but I still believe that this is exactly what Scripture alludes to. Like, we're wrestling not against power, flesh and blood, principalities, rulers of darkness in high places, all that type of shit. Y'all got me drinking. I hope my father-in-law don't see
Well, look.
this.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's have some round table type of conversation of,
Yeah.
of what it
Bring on the
really
questions.
means. Yeah. So I mean, how do you see, because like you said, we're at disaster level emissions. We have all the seasons in a week or sometimes in a day.
That's fair.
Correct.
We have flooding that happens more often than not. The storms that we've had, hurricanes that we've had, tornadoes that we've had, they are like monstrous. The tsunamis that have happened on the other side of the globe are always catastrophic. So what I'm saying is like let's ask the question about everyday implications of environmental justice, what it means for us as people that live next door to other people, and then how do we work with each other to mitigate, to lessen, to make our future as nice as it can be with the circumstances that we got laid out in front of us.
Yeah, like
Yes, sir.
to be fair, I mean, like I think that our emissions levels could be reversible, but we have to have a massive um, concept of ending capitalism and the extraction on the planet that takes place at rapid levels of robbing the earth of fossil fuels. And we are so addicted to the idea of, for example, on the South, like within the Gulf South, liquid natural gas, the extraction of that, the burning of liquid natural gas as a fuel when there are alternatives. But beyond that, like, I know that in the 90s when we were watching Captain Planet, we thought that we could, save the planet, like, just by recycling. Granted, that's great and do that, recycle, compost, make the earth work with the earth, like, or be committed to work with the earth. That's great. But it ain't just our responsibility. We have to draw the line with these large corporations that are, overwhelmingly taking from the earth, taking from our communities, putting black folks in the worst communities. Like, the idea if you go down, and you all had a brother a few weeks ago from Louisiana working on a lot of policy down that way. Yeah, I be tuning in, yeah, I be tuning in out, because
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm
much
saying,
appreciated.
yeah. But like, so placing black folks in Cancer Alley, doing this work in our communities by which we are the immediate recipients of the emissions. Like another example, in Gloucester, Mississippi, wood pellet plants and the emissions that are
Uh-huh.
left in there that are making people's immediate communities unlivable or untenable, is what we have to fight. We have to be able to say that, like, this ain't the industry we want. There's the idea, this wonderful idea of a just transition, um, by which we transition from extractive fossil fuels by creating, green and clean jobs that people can work and get paid livable and sizable wages to do. I mean, we've done the work of dirtying the planet. We have to like create the work to clean it and
Yeah.
to restore. And so we have to be able to determine that. And how do we do that? Well, we have to do it together. We got to organize. And so part of what we do at Cooperation Jackson is called that alternative and try to develop ways. It's more so, I get to work in political theory. Um, and so it's more so an opportunity to like test these theories out in real time. What does it look like in a city, in a municipality that is suffering from archaic infrastructure due to an evil state being pervasive and depriving the resources and the funding for that infrastructure to be redone. I mean, like, so what does it look like for us to do it ourselves? What does it look like for us to set up water catchment systems? Um, so at Cooperation Jackson, we we um we tinkle, not tinkle, pause. We pause, like, I see, like, that drinking stuff. You shouldn't do it and be responsible.
No,
Um,
we do it every week. I mean, I don't know about why you can't do that. I mean, there were times that I knew that we could have a beverage and still speak as though we were inside the classroom and ready for all that
man,
those that come
man,
against us throw at us.
I'm sleep deprived.
Yeah,
That's
that's a whole other thing.
like,
Listen,
but
alcohol
but
and sleepy
we
don't mix.
It doesn't.
alcohol. I just said alcohol, y'all. Like y'all, are y'all listening to this? But
Alcohol.
alcohol and sleepy don't mix. But
I mean, you volunteered.
we
It's your
I
chosen way
did.
of
I
life
did.
this Tuesday night.
Hey, man. Hey, we be hanging out, dog. But we get a chance to tinker with creating new material realities for folks from our work with our worker owner cooperatives or worker self-directed enterprises, where we want to put the power of production in the hands of the people instead of some owner who you're driving $1 billion profit for that doesn't even know your name. Um, and we do that with the idea of community production, giving these skills to folk by which they can do a variety of things, but having the skill to render, to 3D print, to move where the work is moving as we go forward. Also, to have land ownership with our community land trust, and with this idea that the folks in the community should one determine what's in the community, what industry, what skill sets they have, and that starts with making sure that the folks who live around you are organized. So like this is just some opportunity to do some real time organizing. Um,
So
and so
so what are
mhm,
the things that I mean, like you said Cooperation Jackson. Let's try to localize it, right? Um
mhm,
we're talking about a community land trust and some other options for people that can get involved like right now. If we told
mhm.
them something that we needed them to work on right now, what's something that we can direct them and activate them to?
I love like directing folks to the Olabelle Community Production Center. I think we need to equip young folks with these skills to do stuff that they're already doing. And so that's an opportunity that we have to teach folks how to have a skill by which they'll be able to own that skill and own that labor, and they don't have to worry about getting in line for anybody to pay them ever again.
Where is it located at, and what are some of the things that's offered, like for us the skill set?
Man, it's on West Capitol Street, and
Mhm.
like folks don't be coming over there in West Jackson because like but like West Jackson is where it's at, and so it's on West Capitol Street, across from the Balagoon Center, um, and there are opportunities for folks to get skills on 3D printing, also digital rendering, and with the goal for us to be able to utilize within our community land trust. There is an unattended street in the city of Jackson called Ewing Street in West Jackson. Um, and amidst all the blight is a whole bunch of potential where folks are able, if we can like imagine together, see what could be an eco-socialist village where housing constructs are put up not with using a whole bunch of fossil fuels, but using the resources that are rendered through 3D fabrication, putting together apartment homes on that street, and inviting folks to live in the space. That's one of many goals. Again, like I get a chance to tinker with like the imagination of what we can do to further our freedom. Um, and
That,
so, uh,
that's an idea, man. You just gave so people need what food, they need a place to live, right?
mhm,
Maslow.
They need food, they need a place to live. So you're saying they're in Jackson, Mississippi is a place where 3D fabrication is happening and there are plans that have been developed and are being deployed to build homes that are not made out of wood that has been harvested from a forest.
mhm, that there is.
Okay.
Now how popular that is right now, give or take. But we have that opportunity to
I mean, like
popularize.
just pulling from experience. I remember when my dad, God rest his soul, he was like, "Son, we gonna start putting people in um, polymer vaults instead of using concrete.
Mm.
He was like the process was it's like it's not as labor intensive. You not use because like with a concrete vault, you have to oil
Uh,
the frame with oil.
mm-hmm.
So fossil fuel. Then you got to take rocks from somewhere
And crush.
and crush them, and then you have to use cement, right? And you
Put
make
it together.
that, and you put all of that together. So manpower and all of that was one thing. So I'm thinking like if we can 3D print some bricks, and just looking at the genius, he was like, we hustling backwards. So the amount of money that it took, and I know that the polymer vaults would still would be use of oil, but if we were able to start 3D printing them things back when we were still making vaults, who's doing that right now? There's still companies that I'm just thinking of ideas that can decrease our footprint where we still gonna bury our dead.
Right.
Some people gonna burn them, but some folks still gonna bury it. So
Mm-hmm.
that might be a solution right there where we have some 3D printed vaults if we get a printer
Uh,
big.
I mean, we have a printer big enough. Uh, yeah.
That's a
Um,
loaded question.
is so yeah. I think that like
Hey,
yeah. Like I'm sorry, my bad.
oh no, no, I was just gonna ask, have y'all been able to put together a structure yet, like a house or some
Mm,
type of model from the
no,
3D printing yet?
no, that's aspirational. We do have people working on really refining the skill. So so yeah, like I try to be clear with what is aspirational and what is real. Right now, we are inviting people in to come and get the skill. And
Okay.
then with the skill, you have the skill. You can do what you want to. Um, you know, so so I mean, I'm really honored to just really be in a space by which I get to, really use my imagination to, and what I would like to do, and like if anybody like hears this conversation,
Hmm.
just be like, hey man, like the road to liberation starts with your imagination. It starts with like, hey man, like
Gotta be free.
and it's cool. Like like I ain't trying to riddle us into like this being a dream, but like you got to project it. You got to know, and you got to imagine yourself without the um,
Limits.
intensity that is the backdrop of capitalism, and having to drive yourself to ultimately an early grave. I mean, like legitimately, the pace that we keep in order just to keep food on the table is is ungodly. It doesn't produce rest. It doesn't, produce happiness. Like, everybody tired and upset, and we got to ask, like, what are we doing? And so, like, so the cool thing about working at Corporation Jackson is like stepping back and having that vantage point to have some imagination of what the future could be. But yeah, like we got so much of a fight to go. Like, I've had a professional tip that like, I'm hogging the conversation. Might be because of the sleep deprivation, but I'm going, like I know better, y'all. I do. I don't want everybody to know that like that shit don't just come and just talk a
Right. So let's talk cooperative economics. Like
Yeah,
lot.
let's lean in on that because we about like 10 minutes from our usual time, right?
yeah.
So with the conversation being guided by we're ready to do business with each other.
Hmm.
That means that my brother has a service that he's able to provide, and I have a bit of resource that I can pro- I can give to him for that said service. It is that the beginning of cooperative economics, or like how would you describe it?
Man, I would describe cooperative economics um, that that um, um, that we've been doing it. Like we've been doing it naturally. you know, in often unspoken ways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've always done like favors and things like that, um, and we've also um, done. I mean, just so many things like like the way Black folks have been resilient and kind of worked through to establish their own stuff is something that we've done, and we've kind of done it together. So I start with like, hey, this is something that is actually innate and we know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
um we just got to get back to it, and we got to stop moving at a pace that's again driven by capitalism, driven by extraction. It's extracting from us. um so like if we want to do business together first, um inviting folks to do business is one thing often that we don't really say. Like we talk about worker self-directed enterprise, worker on the cooperatives and stuff like that. Like, bro, do you want to like own some stuff and make some stuff for yourself? So people, like automatically understand that as business. Um, so yeah, I think that if we are trying to do business together. Like we provide a platform for that. And Chuck, you've like been recently a part of like some um, real cool technologies that are being developed by which we can do business with one another and exchange. Because like like we do business and we consider business with such a limited idea of like what's currency, how do I get
Yeah.
money for me, when what we really need is exchange. Like like you give me some time, I give you some time, we both still have. So I think that those are things that we again we're exploring and thinking through.
So I know me and Demetha talked about this at Kwanzaa, and me and Stamps has had this conversation. One of the best examples we've had in our history of cooperative economics come from farmers, right? Especially black farmers, how you had to share and support each other. For me growing up, I know we had gardens, right? And we had apple tree. Mr. TC down the road had plum trees, right? We would share certain things what we had and also service. We didn't have a car, right? But we all burned house wood. So when they cut wood, everybody cut wood and you drop the wood off at everybody's house. So cooperative economics, the best example come from farmers because you did it as a survival mechanism and you did what makes sense. You might have a trailer and I have a tractor, and we work together to accomplish the goal, or we might farm one piece of land, or I help you, change my diet, don't eat pork anymore. But there was a time where it was you gather everybody up on the coldest day to kill hogs, right? You make sure your blade was sharp and make sure your 22 was loaded, and it was a community event that you did, and you shared the resource together. And so I think that's one of the greatest things is using your skill set, using your resources, and you share it. Sometimes it's financial gain, sometimes it's a barter system of, hey, you help me with what skill you had, I help you with mine, and we together, our families are taken care of. And that's one thing that we push within our circle and with our group about cooperative economics and how we live it. Every black business should be supporting another black business. If you got a black business or a black nonprofit organization, you should be ordering and using something that comes from a black owned business. Now,
Yeah.
because we don't have the same access to resources, our prices might not be as cheap as the mainstream. But one thing should never be the case: the product should always be great, and the customer service should always be great. So if I'm going to pay more, I at least want to make sure I have that because we don't have the access to buy in bulk, like for the capital. And we're gonna have to come together and pull. The other thing about cooperative economics is pulling together your resources, so that we can. It might take two of them to buy a gas
Mhm.
station. It might take 10 of us. The thing is, Life ain't fair, neither is favor. Excuses are monuments of nothing. So what are we going to do if we really want it? So we got to pull our resources together and put together a plan to actually make sure that we have it. And when we could turn around and point at a model and say this is what we did, then other people say, you know what, they did it, I can do it. Can you
So
show
look
me
at
how to
here.
do it? And that's what happens.
Look, I like the way
And we doing it, and we doing it already, right?
right,
We
and that's
um
what Josh was saying. Josh was saying
yeah,
is like we've been doing it. I
we've been
think
doing it.
we have to because of the onslaught of propaganda, because of the constant consumption of food, media, books, messaging. Because of that consumption, we've been led to believe that we've not been operating in a cooperative manner. Because like we're
Correct.
not this idea or this conversation that we having ain't new. The thing
No,
is that some people are becoming more familiar with it, and I actually kind of struggle with the title for tonight. I wanted to say re-embracing, but then I
yeah,
thought about it
Mhm.
for some people, it may be a re-embrace, but for others, this might be their first time actually hearing about what it is to do for the people that are closest to you. And I would say that in the South, we're probably some of the last ones, and we got a question from my brother. Um, in the A. Shout out to Atlanta, shout out to Jackson State, and shout out to the Capitals. Uh, especially Larry and Jelani
yeah.
and any of the other Capitals that we hang out with that are actually cool. It's a little shot right there.
I
Uh,
see it. I see it. I see it. Yeah, it's low blow, low blow, low blow
shout,
to the noobs.
shout out to Usher, but look, let's get my brother's question. But I think, man, we got to make it so, like you said earlier, man, we got to make it so plain that people can really understand that this is something we've already been doing. So my brother, this is like literally my big brother. He's saying, how do we fight against attacks by capitalists when we succeed? Case in point, JSU was beginning to jailbreak college sports, and now Uncle Shay Shannon Sharp is being attacked from within. I hold Shannon Sharp in suspect sometimes, man. I don't know. Like I'm not sure how some of his comments and his commentary really I appreciate the platform that he's creating, but some of his comments sometimes don't serve us best. And I think by having trusted advisors, and I don't know if he has that. I don't know if he has people around him that aren't just yes people. Um, and we can have a he can have a conversation where people are going to push back on some of the things that he's planning to say. Uh, I don't know if he has that, and I don't know if he has a circle around him like what we have here, where we spend time alone in thought and we get together and have conversations. So, Mac, you want or Josh, you want to try to take a stab at answering Red's questions?
Well, I would say big shout out to Jackson State, representing the South, representing the Jack. We need wins. We need models. We need some things that we can say, look, that's energy, right? We
Right.
talked about for Black people, the structure uses the term that we use in the Hunger Games. I never watched it, but I heard that they said that never give them hope, right? Because when people have a hope, they fight. They fight, they
Yeah.
stay focused, and they keep pushing. So you never give them hope. So as long as we have hope, we have an opportunity to know that we can change things. And there's so many things that are distractions put in front of us to take our eye off the ball and to engulf into conversation, right? Like Shannon, Shannon Sharp is outside my pay grade. Um, I see some of the stuff that he talk about and things that are relevant that make sense to me. I jump on it and I go, right? He's gonna have he has a certain level of freedom, right? So freedom is always going to be attacked. That you can say what you want, and it's so people
I
gonna eat it
appreciate
up, and some
that.
people, it's a certain freedom is always going to be attacked because that means to express, and then for especially for black men to be express themselves is always someone telling them how they should do it and how they should do it and what they shouldn't do. Um, Also, it's something just like this. If folks don't want to pay attention to it, don't watch it. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very easy. A lot of times we'll feel when we do make it to a certain level that we are speaking for everybody, right? And you expect so much out of them because they've reached a certain level and they should be doing this and they should be doing that. But again, everybody ain't the same. When you had to
yeah,
get it rough, when you were sitting up there eating Roman noodles and didn't have no heat, nobody gave a shit about you. So
yeah,
now you become a multimillionaire and you should be doing things different. Well, they do. They do things within their circle. We just expect them to do things differently because we expect them to do things differently.
yeah, yeah.
And his platform has given a lot of people a place to be able to come and speak and talk.
Josh, you
But
coming back?
Josh, like he was getting hot. He probably didn't change his shirts. But it's having our platform, uh, being able to speak
Yeah,
and to be free. Because yes, I am my brother's keeper, but I can't. It's not your job to control what that man say. And I focus
yeah,
on the positives. You see, the first thing I said was shout out Jackson State, right? Shout out to the band. Shout out to the band heads, all the band heads, right? Shout out to the band heads.
yeah,
Even though high school, we didn't have a marching band at Tulu, but there are so many people that went to Tulu that was in a band in high school, right? That you were first chair or folks, you know, actually have a talent for music.
yeah,
And we support the local bands, whether it be Jack State or Alcorn. We support music because music is a universal language um, in all cases. So we want to shout that out because we need them wins in Jackson, right? We
yeah.
had something terrible just happen as soon as they were performing. Something crazy was happening in Jackson. We need those wins. We need those models of what we can do, and knowing that the same place
Yeah.
produces something as positive and as exciting as that band performing with Usher.
Your comments, Mac, it reminds me of one of the sermons that my brother uh and I would hear from our
Hmm.
father. Um the sermon would center on it, can anything good come from Galilee?
Hmm.
And it's like you hear people uh when they have these conversations around Jackson,
Hmm.
and they'll say, Jackson, I ain't going to Jackson. And my first thing is like, man, Jackson was very good to me. And I know that I've been in all sides of it. And uh I know for a fact that so much good came from Jackson. I know that my folks, my mama would have probably never sent me there if she felt like it was gonna be, a place where it wasn't gonna be good for her child. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I think just to take an attempt in answering the question, and how do we fight against attacks when we succeed, it's like we have to control our narrative. Even when we win, we got to take it upon ourselves to amplify our wins even more. And I think that's what you were getting at, Mac. It's like when when you got when Usher brings on the boom Kappas and a bunch of artists, specifically like her, that would probably never get the nod or the invite for anything as it relates to the Super Bowl. And you create a system, and I don't know what Usher's politics are and how he aligns with with how he lives his life. But I think by sharing the stage and being strategic, um, taking a page out of that book is like, if we share the stage with each other, this one right here that we've created,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
You
And
just made
and
you
we
just made me thought about something.
and we continue to do that, and
Mm.
we are strategic in the way that we show up. When we show up, when the stage grows, then we are operating in a manner that not only um amplifies our community, but when we are calculated in how we when we move about and everybody has their marching orders, that means we're not only calculated, but we're coordinated. And by being coordinated, we know where our strengths are, and
Mm.
we're gonna play to those strengths. So if we play to our strengths, then our weaknesses become things that we're not even concerned about.
So it's stated that the Asian cultures focus on their strengths, right? That's why you talk about why they're so far advanced in so many different things. They focus on what you're already good at. You maybe thought about two people that we knew personally, and you talk about aligning with certain politics. Brother Hollis' nickname was Freedom from Tougaloo from the work that he did. Mr. Charles Evers said there's two things he only wanted to be in life, and that was rich and free. They both had the same goal. If you look from the far, their politics was aligned differently,
Hmm.
but they had the same goal. And sometimes we try to align ourselves because this is what other people are telling us. So people don't like freedom, and I mean they don't like free people because you don't fall into a certain box and category of what they want you
Yeah.
to be, and or they think they should be. Well, Chuck, you're the son of a preacher. You should be doing why? Because that's what they feel that you should be doing. The same way classism works, where if you came from a certain lineage, a lineage or pedigree or a certain class, that you should be doing this. And when you don't, they get to looking and try to figure out why you are here or how you are here, right? Because there's certain levels of freedom. Um, and so those are things of creating. We start talking about the capitalism. The first thing that was ever traded on the stock market was us as a people. And people is your, but also people is your biggest investment. When you can invest in people, whether it be resources or knowledge, you get the best productivity or the best product you ever see. And a lot of times it doesn't happen. Like, just being honest, right? So to play devil's advocate for Mississippi, the poverty level is so high that it would take us, I don't know how many years before we get to the level of going green that's satisfactory based on California standards, because we can't afford regular gas cars. The average battery in an electric car costs $22,000. So
Right.
first,
When
who
when
has
you
some?
look, yeah, but when you look at what we got and how we moving, we might be already green enough.
We are Mississippi is one of those centralized states that has more agriculture than other areas. Our waters are polluted because folks don't take care of the shit that we got. It's not because it's magic. We have a trash problem. Our major issue is trash that folks are that's man-made.
Yeah,
The four
coming
weeks that
downstream.
the world sheltered in place, the earth begin to heal. 4 weeks that we sheltered in place as a unit before the politics came into place and everybody started coming back out against the advisory, our earth began to heal. It showed how toxic we are as people. We are toxic. And we are toxic because we have bad behavior for us, how we take care of things, for us in our trash. For Mississippi, it really is trash. It really is not properly cutting trees and damming up creeks and rivers, or intentionally damming up creeks and rivers for profit gain, or polluting the water with trash, like literally a whole 3 miles of nothing but garbage. You know, that's our problem. Poor infrastructure
Yeah.
and the money not being utilized to fix the infrastructure that we had. Well, we don't have enough money to fix it. We'll fix the shit that we had with the money that we had. If you can't fix for one goddamn spot to make it perfect, then fix that goddamn spot. But
Well, I
excuse
mean, like, you know,
that's the issue we have. Is just you know, it's just like Josh might not have enough money, but to fix this, well, my roof need fixing, my foundation, the this, the third. What's most important, Josh? What can you fix first? Whatever you fix it. You know, because something's gonna be left. You got to fix something.
fair enough. I mean, and I would like I must get um you know a way
Back to that.
yeah to be back on it. But and I want to talk more because I don't think that this is of personal volition. I do think that there are some elements like the state like kept resources and keeps resources away
Oh
from the
yeah.
municipality, by which, you know, and when there is always this moment of scarcity, people do dire things, and what we often do is point the blame at one another. But if we could, you know, further organize this, we can see that this is the state keeping away infrastructure. um um so that I think that we have to really like consider how we're telling it, and so yeah, fix what you can fix, but like you could have a leaky roof on an unsure foundation, and you still SOL if you put the new roof up. So yeah, I want to, you know, think more through those things, but yep, it's 10:12. I need to, you know, go
Hey,
and, you know.
so look, Dow, before you go, I definitely want to say, you know, thank you for coming on. We appreciate your analysis. And I don't think that any of us are attempting to detract from anything that either of us said. I think we're all pushing in the same direction. Uh, I think we're most concerned with our people, and we want to make sure that our people can reside in a place where resource abounds. And with that being said,
Where we going, Chuck?
Wait.
you want to get to where the money resides. Resource, abundance. We got to build our own structures. We got to build our own tables. And be there. Thank y'all for being here with us. Looks like we got to have this conversation again. Thank Josh for being here with us. We got to do this. Nightcap Knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.